RDX-N is no doubt the culmination of 30+ years of my professional career. Understanding plant metabolic processes, understanding soil metabolic processes, spending the last 30 years studying them from a completely different point of view, which is how do plants naturally adapt? How do plants naturally deal with how they grow, the environment they grow in, with what happens when we add fertilizer, what happens when we don't add fertilizer? Spending 30 years studying all of that, and 10+ years ago coming up with the formula of RDX-N, and then working on it over the past 10 years to perfect it into a commercial product. My excitement level is like through the roof. The green revolution and synthetic fertilizer and all of those things that we brought increased crop yields significantly. But the amount of synthetic fertilizer we can use to get crop yields has been capped out. There's no return on investment by adding more. So we've got to look at other ways to enhance the existing nutritional programs that we have. RDX-N doesn't replace nutritional programs, it helps them become better. It removes the barrier of metabolism so that those applied nutrients are metabolized better in the plant, speaking specifically towards nitrogen. So if I'm a grower, why would I use RDX-N? To get more out of my fertilizer dollar, number one. Then number two, we can do all the add-ons. When a plant metabolizes nitrogen better, it's less susceptible to environmental issues. It's less susceptible to heat stress, to cold stress, to biotic stress, because it is metabolizing properly and creating proteins, peptides, amino acids, etc. Okay? Then number three, we can't ignore the environment. We cannot ignore that the extraction of synthetic fertilizers to make them into fertilizers is an environmental issue, and then over-application to get current crop yields is an environmental issue. I am not denigrating or taking away from the progress or where growers are at. I am simply saying we are at an inflection point where world issues are causing ROI cost issues, and world issues are causing environmental issues, and we know better. RDX-N is a flagship product for Redox Bio-Nutrients because we have learned and we now know how to make synthetic nitrogen fertilizer better. This is a long-term use. Why? Because use rates are extremely low and it's very cost effective. I don't care if nitrogen is $1,000 a ton or $200 a ton, RDX-N is cost effective across that board because it is helping metabolize and make that nitrogen better. So this should be integrated as a long-term play, not a short-term fix because nitrogen prices are high. This is a long-term play that growers should get involved with us, learn about use rates, application, and how to make it work inside of an existing synthetic fertilizer program as a long-term way to change and move the dynamic from I'm not getting very much out of my fertilizer to I'm getting a lot more out of my fertilizer, both in metabolism, yield, quality, etc. I truly believe that agriculture has performed miracles in the way that we farm our crops, in the way that we have created yield ROI in very difficult conditions, whether it's commodity pricing or environmental issues or world political issues. Agriculture has done an incredible job. I've spent 30 years learning how to grow plants, 30 years learning the natural way that things happen. And we have now arrived at a point where science is coming together saying, okay, great that we got here, great that this is all of our fertilizer programs, but we now know better. If you know better, but you keep doing what you used to do, that's not a good thing. And we now know better. We now know, again, how to push our fertilizer, how to get more out of our fertilizer through these small metabolic molecules that are in RDX-N, in our Redox Bio-Nutrient products that help a plant adapt to its environment and metabolize mineral nutrition better.